when we last saw our vampires, Desmond had of Clan Hecata had managed to make his way up top into Montreal proper, where he encountered Elise of Clan Tremere. Elise realized that Desmond was the Ashen Crow whom she'd been looking for. She's looking for one more person now, the Headless Man, and the two of them have decided to unite their forces, perhaps, and go and look for this Headless Man in the underworld. Meanwhile, Margot, on the trail of a serial abuser, and getting some help from the always well-connected Fiona, stumbled upon a rather gruesome discovery in a warehouse, which is what we will begin with here in just a moment. We will pick up right where we left off. However, to begin with, my friends, a little poem by my good friend Edgar Allan Poe. It's called Alone. From childhood's hour I've not been as others were. I've not seen as others saw. I could not bring my passions from a common spring. From the same source I've not taken my sorrow. I could not awaken my heart to joy at the same tone, and all I loved alone. Then in my childhood, in the dawn of a most stormy life, was drawn from every depth of good and ill the mystery which binds me still. From the torrent or the fountain, from the red cliff of the mountain, from the sun that round me rolled in its autumn tint of gold, from the lightning in the sky as it passed me flying by, from the thunder and the storm, and the cloud that took the form, when the rest of heaven was blue, of a demon in my view. The accursed share, or la part maudite, according to French philosopher Georges Bataille, is a theory that asserts that human societies cannot simply accumulate and conserve resources. Rather, they must find ways to expend their excess, whether through destruction, indulgence, or sacred rituals, in order to tap into a deeper, more primal force. His critique of modern economies is a call to embrace waste, loss, and transgression as part of the human condition, revealing an underlying tension between rationality and the irrational forces that drive us. For us, Cainites, kindred, for whom the term cursed share also applies, this is a truism. We live for so long, accumulate so much, that we must, in time, find ways to divest ourselves of the excess. This is true material wealth, but it's also true of darkness. We live in darkness, propagate in it, gorge ourselves on it, become its literal embodiment, its avatar. It's no wonder then that after some time, those eldest among us especially feel a need to disgorge, to unleash this mass accumulated darkness at their core onto the unsuspecting mortals who crowd at our feet like so much fodder. Some of us decry these actions, others embrace them. For my part, I believe that once we are unfettered from the human notion of morality, unshackled by the very mortality that is the only true destination for any of them, once we cease to be human, in short, transgression becomes the norm, and should not give us pause. It is a higher state of being, this state of transgression, for it removes limits and barriers. Humans only dream of this state. We are this state. So then, what are we to do when we witness something among the humans, something so shocking, so outré, so transgressive, that it gives even us, accursed share, pause? Margot, Fiona, 23 women, 3 men, all wrapped in semi-transparent white plastic tarps, all bound carefully with zip ties, all naked, underfed, all alive somehow, but in a state of suspended animation. They don't react to stimuli, except to moan or cry in pain when touched, or when they hear another one do so. The smell of plastic and new car is overwhelming, but now you can also smell the bodies. Margot, you are standing in the middle of this room, hearing this cacophony of moans and cries of pain attenuating slowly. You are aware that if you jostle one of them, if you touch one, or if so much as brush one of them, we'll begin again with this hellish sound. Meanwhile, Fiona, outside the room, perched on the ladder, if I remember correctly.
Nope.
No, you had gone down and you had put your brass knuckles on. You hear the hesitant footsteps of someone approaching. You smell sweat and fear. You hear an audible gulp and then the unmistakable of a gun being cocked. Soon you see the beam of a flashlight start to cut through the darkness. What do you guys do?
Fiona's gonna go up 3 rungs on the ladder and go, Margot, there's someone here.
I think Margot startles at the sound of your voice, kind of sort of cutting through. And what is it that Margot sees on the wall?
What Margot sees on the wall... Actually, thank you so much for reminding me of that. Good idea, you, our friends. A little note that says, Margot Bernier, let's play with a couple of hearts pierced with an arrow.
I'm going to very quickly take my phone out and take a quick snapshot of it. And then sort of look around at all these bodies, these people groaning. And I think Fiona hears a very quiet fuck before backing up slowly and back towards the ladder. And she's going to take another picture of all of the bodies and then tuck her phone away.
As you're doing that, would you make me a wits and investigation roll?
Okay.
Meanwhile, Fiona outside, the footsteps are approaching very slowly, the flashlight leading the way, searching. You can tell that whoever's coming is really nervous, really hesitant, but is coming nonetheless.
I got 2 successes, with one of them as a red diamond with a black dot, and then 2 onks.
That will be a messy critical.
Ooh.
Do you want to keep it? Do you want to spend a night move and ignore it?
I'm going to spend a night move to ignore it.
Okay. Yeah, meanwhile, Fiona.
Quick question. Do kindred have keener eyesight in the dark?
No.
This is the equivalent of the player going, I have dark vision.
No, only if you have heightened senses or the La Sombra power that allows you to do
that. Okay. And you said there was a flashlight beam.
Yeah,
correct?
There's a little bit of light. You're not like in total darkness. There's like,
okay.
There are some lanterns kind of on the way. There's a big red light at the end of the hall. It looks like this. Again, just to remind you. The area where you are looks like this, and you're down at the end there. In that darkened little cubby hole. So the person that's coming up is like about halfway down that corridor, heading towards the red.
Okay. I am going to try and find a piece of nearby debris to huck in the opposite direction of, if they're coming this way, to huck this way to make noise back here to try and throw them off the scent.
Okay, so you realize there's not a lot of other places for them to go, right? All the the doors are closed to all the storage units, and down that way, which is the way you came, is where the stairwell is. So you know it may very likely like make them turn and kind of, but it's not going to send them off on a wild goose chase as well. But it may buy you some time.
Yeah, I kind of want to buy some time until Margot gets down here to.
Okay, so go ahead and give me a dexterity and give me larceny.
Dexterity and...
Margot, you had 2 successes. As you take a picture, you look up and realize that on the ceiling there's a little red blinking light, and you can see some kind of device that looks like maybe a camera or something.
I smile on it. Big, bold, full teeth smile. And I say to the camera, "Are you always this much of a coward?" Before turning back towards the ladder.
What did you get on your roll, kiddo?
I got 2 successes. I think it's a messy critical because I have 1 red onk, 1 black onk, and 1 red pip die.
Do you want to keep the messy critical, or do you want to?
I did that once before, and that kind of fucked us over, so I'm not going to keep it this time.
Okay, so spend a night move and eliminate the messy critical. You throw the piece of wood with 2 successes. You manage to get it to throw in such a way that it's not seen by him, and it goes over him, and then it clatters behind, and you hear, "What? All right, I've had enough of this. Show yourself. I'm armed." Now, you are very well versed in notions of laws and things of that nature. Now that you think about it, it's very unlikely that he has an actual firearm. We are in Canada, and he's not guarding anything. You know, if he was like a Brinks truck driver, he would have a firearm. But a rent-a-cop like this, watching a half-empty warehouse, you're starting to think that he very likely does not have a weapon. But,
so he's gone to investigate the sound?
Yeah, you see the flashlight is like going down the other side. Now he feels like he's kind of frozen, like he doesn't know what to do, like he's moving kind of slowly in that direction with the flashlight up here.
Is Margot down with me now?
Margot is coming down the stairwell as you speak, yes.
We got a spot of trouble. I think the guard heard us.
I'll take care of it. Don't worry about it.
Fair.
Find an easier way out. And I'm going to start towards that guard.
You want to move stealthily?
No, I don't, but I am taking out my ass. Puh. And I am extending it.
Do you want him to realize you're there?
Yeah, I sure do.
You walk out, and as you're framed in that black doorway with the red lights all around, you hear the of the asp. He's like, ugh! He turns around. You can see he's a young man, maybe in his like mid to late 20s. He's wearing not really like a high-vis vest, but he's got like a kind of overcoat with like a high-vis bar on it, and he's got like a rent-a-cop badge sewn on his jacket. Holy fuck. What are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here.
Urban exploring. Sorry, I'm on my way out. If you'll just let me pass by. No trouble, right?
And he's staring at you a little bit kind of oddly, like he's trying to ascertain something. Are you the one he said would come?
So you know him.
Man, I can't remember. I know someone comes. I know they do things they shouldn't. I know, but I don't know what it is.
Chill.
I don't know who he is, and it's fucking killing me. Please,
It's
I'm going
okay.
insane.
It's okay.
I know
It's
that I know
okay.
something, but I can't remember. When I try to put my finger on it, it just disappears, and I'm really fucking afraid. All right, I'm really afraid.
Hey, what's your name? What's your name? Tell me.
Sebastian.
And she's still walking towards him very slowly and methodically. What does his face look like?
I don't know, but he gave me a message for you.
Yeah.
There's he said a woman would come. He said to tell her, and as he says that, his eyes roll back in his head, showing you just the white, and his voice changes. And he says, "This doesn't end. There is no end goal, no explanation. My masters think there is. They think their goals are mine. But they are not. I have none. The doing is all. I am. I do. I have no desires or motives. I am a disease. I am their tools just as they are mine. Just as you will be mine by the end. This moment right now is the end of me, the end of you, and the beginning of us. This is the line between a time when you were a single, solitary individual and when we merged and became one, indivisible, a wedding of darkness. This is my transgression. I shall be yours. Our romance will be talked about for centuries, Margot. Next time, I'll tell you why I chose you. Sleep well."
I think by now Fiona's like halfway down the hall hearing this.
Hey, okay. I don't know what he looks like. I can't remember. I've seen him, I talked to him, but I can't remember. There's an image of him on video, though. One night he got caught on the security camera, just one frame. I can show you if you want.
I want it. I want that footage. She looks back at Fiona. You can leave if you want, or you can stay.
No, I'm fucking staying. I'm intrigued, if nothing else.
That a girl? Show us.
Yeah. Did I say something weird?
Oh, no. Not at all.
Nothing out of the ordinary.
You guys like Laverne and Shirley or something?
Something like that.
I watch that on reruns sometimes. On TV. There's not a lot to do here, and he's taking you back downstairs, down the stairwell. Not a lot to do out here. Just him coming here like once a night past few weeks. What's up there?
You don't really want to know.
No, I don't think I do.
I wouldn't worry your pretty little head about it.
Is he gonna kill me now?
No.
Thinking of quitting this job?
You should. You should probably get out of town.
Go retire somewhere nice. Maybe Hudson.
Oh. Well, I can't retire. I'm 27. I mean, I like Hudson. We go apple picking there sometimes in the summer. In the fall.
You got a
Nice.
girlfriend, boyfriend?
Yeah, I guess I'm kind of seeing someone, but he lives in Oxbury, which I guess would make sense for her to move to Hudson. It'd be closer.
There you go.
Her name's Shirley.
Like Laverne and Shirley.
Yeah, no, that's why That's why I started watching it, because I saw the thing before I go by. Laverne, he's taking you to a little security office downstairs. I saw the thing, it was Laverne and Sharon. I thought it was funny because it was her name, and I was like, I watched it. I got really high though. I hit like the bong like 3 times, and then I just watched it, and it was pretty trippy. It's these 2 women that are like cops, and they like get into all sorts of anyways, it's kind of like the 2 of you, except he looks at you fucking nowhere near sexy. Also a bit less gothy, but that's another story. It was, in the 80s, so they like dressed kind of differently. And
while he's yammering, Fiona's just like, eyes up.
I think Margot's kind of amused by this. She would have remembered these airing, on a regular schedule for the first time, and it's cute. She finds it endearing, but she's definitely kind of like keeping her eyes out.
He eventually pulls up. On the videos, like there's just one. It's really creepy. There's just one frame. There's like nothing, and then there's a frame. It's like it's over here somewhere. He starts playing it, and you just see the hallway, and then quickly you see something red, and then he goes by. He's like, "Oh, I gotta stop it. Hold on!" And he puts it on slow, and he slows it down, and then you get one frame, literally one frame, and you see this figure in red with some sort of red covering on their face and over their body, and some kind of tool in their hand.
Is this on a tape?
Yeah, on like a disc.
On a disc.
Yeah.
Can I?
Oh yeah, you want the disc taken, man? I'm done. I'm leaving. I'm quitting this job. It's not worth the fucking $12.97 an hour I'm getting paid.
I think Margot's like glued to the screen, like staring at this frame, and very slowly she looks back to Fiona. I got a lot of work to do.
I'll say so. So you're a run-of-the-mill fuckhead.
No, it's not. And she's gonna take the disc. Hey, Sebastian, do me a favor.
Yeah.
Quit tonight.
Yeah, I'm following you out of here. I'm gonna lock the lock, and I'm gonna walk away from this place, and I'm never coming back.
Yeah, you seem like an alright kid.
Also, Sebastian.
Yeah.
If anyone asks if you saw us, no, you didn't.
Yeah, okay.
Because now we know your girlfriend lives.
And now I know what your face looks like.
Come on, you didn't have to say that. Jesus fucking Christ, I helped you out. I was being cool. Why'd you have to go and say that? No,
we're just coming to an understanding here, lad.
Yeah, I understand this world is fucked. I'm out of here.
Okay.
$12.50 an hour is pretty fucked, so...
Yeah, Canadian on top of that, Jesus.
Embarrassing, it's like honestly. Fucking Monopoly money.
Yeah.
Hey, can I ask you one more question?
What's up?
Which one of you is Laverne? Oh, fuck,
me.
And he takes off his jacket and he throws it on the ground. He throws the keys down. He's like, I'm out of here.
Can I yoink those keys?
Yeah.
Yoink.
The 2 of you are standing in the lobby of this warehouse. The guard is gone. It is around 2 a.m. What do you do?
My place.
Right.
I got some calls to make.
Do you want me to make some calls on the way to get some folks over here and see if these people can be roused in any way?
Yeah, I don't want to be here for it either. Yeah. Do what you can.
I'll call the team.
So, who exactly do you call?
I'm going to call what I believe is probably part of my cleanup team, which at this point is headed by Bruno, which was once headed by Bastion, but now is headed by Bruno. So I would have...
Poor Bastion. Some fuckers killed him.
So, and I will find out who. Probably calling Bruno to assemble the team that would come in for taking any survivors and clean up in any capacity, and making sure that it's whoever is, the liaison with the police department has the knowledge that they have to report any findings back to me, and it cannot be a case that's just on file with the city. It just needs to be something that's kept under wraps.
All right, so I'm going to ask you to give me a roll on that. I'm going to ask you to go ahead and give me a manipulation. And are you trying to be more intimidating, or are you trying to be more persuasive? Or are you trying to be more subterfuge? Whichever one of the three you are attempting to be.
I am going to be persuasive because I'm skilled in that.
Okay, go for it.
I'm rolling 6 dice. I have 2 successes. I have 1 Scully hunger, 1 red pip hunger, and 1 black onk. Oh, 2 black onks.
All right. Actually, let me see. Do they cancel each other out?
I don't know. You tell me, boss.
If it's a success, then the 1 doesn't count. So it is going to be a messy critical. Would you like to go for it, or would you like to?
Listen, I'm all about a fuck around and find out. However, this is not the time for it, so I'm burning a night move.
All right, burn them night moves. You sense that the approach you're taking is not being very productive. There's something that's happening. They're not responding well, so you switch tacks, and you get assurances that things will happen the way you want them to.
Something, snip your balls off, shove them down your throat, something.
And what does Margot do in this interim?
Oh, Margot is a little bit conflicted. I think she's sort of just staring at her phone. I imagine they're walking back to whatever public transit is close by.
Yeah, it's public transit in Montreal. Fucking excellent.
I think very quietly she asks Fiona, well, we can reach out to the sheriff, or I can call the big scary.
I don't know, Margot. I'd say 26 fucking bodies. Not sure which ones are living or dead. That's might be time for a big scary.
All right. I send a text to the big scary.
I need a bit more than that.
To
the big
Pierre.
The big La Sombra scary.
Yep, you got it.
You send a text to him, and it takes a little while, but eventually, what's in the text? Tell me what's in the text.
Need some help. Got some trouble. My place? ?
You get a text back. Can't tonight. Will have to be tomorrow first thing.
I think I just send back K. Well, at least we can chill out, get some rest. You're welcome to stay at mine if you need to. I want to watch this footage.
No, it's all right. I should probably go back to mine. Make sure that nothing's fucking on fire with those fools.
Yeah.
Listen, I had mentioned that that fella that had contacts he knew what that fleur-de-lis looked like and had seen it about. He brought that photo over.
Yeah.
You want I should contact him? Let him know what's up.
Yeah. We need boots on the ground for this. I can't do this one by myself, and if he's some sort of freak who's marriage, darkness, whatever, we got problems. If he can get 26 bodies in a storage unit without me noticing, big problem.
I reckon he might be kindred.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. If it was a human, I just kill him.
Sure.
Now we've got a whole set of problems.
I think it probably best not to tell the sheriff because that'll work the way up the line to the prince. And quite frankly, I don't think we need him breathing down our necks right now.
No, probably not. But if this keeps getting worse and escalating, then our hands might be tied in that situation. Let's hope that Big Scary can take care of it.
Right. Well, call me first before you talk to the prince if you decide to go that way.
Yeah, we'll be in touch. I'll hit you up after tomorrow.
Sounds good. And I grasp her hand, Laverne and Shirley style.
Yes.
Before I exit the train and head towards my haven.
I think Margot watches Fiona walk off for a little bit before she makes her own way.
Excellent. When you wake up the next night, Fiona, you'll have some information waiting for you. I'm going to give it to you now, just I don't forget to give it to you later, but you only get it the next night. Okay. Part of your crew that's gone there to clean will say 23 women, 3 men, all still alive, all being cared for, but looks like they're suffering from something that's preventing them from fully getting out of whatever catatonic state they are in. You'll get a note that they were all slightly underfed, some more than others. It looks like he brought them here one a night for the past 26 nights or 27 nights, whatever it was. They'll say that there's no violence, no mark of violence, no mark of assault or anything like that. However, all of them had the same mark on their arm, freshly tattooed on their arm. It is a inverted black pyramid with the word Serviam over it. Serviam is Latin for I will serve.
Just also in interest of following up on the information, I would probably immediately call Margot and relay this verbally, not via text message.
Okay, and there is one more piece of information that you get. There was an infrared camera that was hidden in the room, in the ceiling. It appears to be a unique handmade camera, and whoever on your team has found it has brought it to you, and when you take a look at it, you realize that there's really only one person in Montreal that does this kind of work. That would be Gaspar.
Okay. Great. I would have contacted Costa as well. In the midst of all of this.
Okay, but tomorrow night, right? Basically after you get the information, or?
Yeah, absolutely. Like as soon as I was able to kind of relay everything to him.
Okay.
Okay. I also would like to try and figure out Gaspar's whereabouts. That would be something that I would...
Gaspar, is very often difficult to find. However, you do know that he leaves information. There's an nargileh bar that he likes to hang out at once in a while, and he'll leave an information like on a web server somewhere that will kind of say that he's going to be there that night. So you can always check that out.
Great. Then I will do my best to find him. Yeah. I also send a message to Margot saying that I had an idea about who might be behind the camera, but I also write Tremere ? Nosferatu ?
Okay. The next night, all of you will make rouse checks for me, please.
I don't wanna. I have 1 success with a onk with 2 dots on a black background.
Oh, good. You only need the one.
Okay, thank God.
Oh, you're only rolling 1 die, so.
Okay.
I got a success.
Oh.
Got a success.
All right, so no one's hunger goes
job,
up.
Coterie.
Excellent. At the Tremere house, speaking of the Tremere, speak of the devils. At the Tremere house, you were very well received, Desmond. You were given a very comfortable room to sleep in. You've come to realize there are a few people in this home. It seems to be mainly the home of the Tremere regent, Fletcher, and of Elise. The two of them very much a couple. But there are a couple of other people, a few other people that live here also. There are a number of ghouls. There's one named Faraday that seems to be Elise's close personal assistant, whatever, always kind of lurking in the corner, always ready to, take care of business. And there are two other women, one named Marjolaine and one named Laurence, who appear to be a little kind of out of their depths, like they haven't been at this very long, but they are also part of the household and are ghouls. Elise, anything in particular that goes on in the evening before the next night when we get up after you've seen Desmond? Is there anything you want to do, or
No, I think she retires to her room, preferably with Fletcher, to enjoy their last day together before the following night when she has to leave.
It's kind of maybe been a while since you've had intimate time together that didn't involve, transforming into an unholy cult symbol or something. So it's it's nice to kind of get back to the basics and just it's just a sweet night, the way you sometimes have them, just because you can't
It's
always
like
be
Netflix and chill, but no TV.
Exactly,
Because her head would explode if there was a TV in the room.
Exactly. But it's just it can't always be freak time. So you have a wonderful night. He reminds you of the knife he gave you and the tattoo that he gave you that you can use to send him a message if you need to. He'll also say that these people have been coming to you, so you probably don't have to go out of your way or do anything crazy down there. Just go there and things will come to you, to just kind of trust that it's been working so far. So just follow along with Desmond and keep him posted on what's happening. He'll be here waiting. When you come back, he'll continue doing research into Trois Echelles and all that stuff, and kind of try to put some stuff together whilst you are gone. He's very loving and caring and doting throughout the night, and in the next night when you wake up, you feel very well loved and very, very refreshed. Desmond, anything weird or crazy that you do during the night, or during the day, I should say, rather?
Nothing particularly weird or crazy. Desmond takes a bit before he sleeps. They pace around the room that they're in a bit, almost like they're looking for something, but whatever it is, they don't seem to find it. And throughout it, he just very quietly talks out loud to himself. And it's the sound of someone who is so used to being alone that they've gotten into that habit of speaking just to hear sound. And he's just kind of quietly saying, "You've done it again. You've walked right into this. What are you doing? Why are you here? You've made a mistake, and you are not going to get caught in a trap again." And eventually, he sleeps.
After a little bit of you doing that, there'll be a discreet knock at the door.
Desmond pauses, glances at the door, debates opening it, and then walks over and turns the doorknob.
You find Faraday there, who says, sorry to disturb you, I just was hearing, just wanted to check and make sure you were all right. Is everything okay? Is there anything you need?
You must have exceptional hearing. I am fine. I was just talking to myself.
Well, that's probably some of the least strange things that happen in this house, so as long as you tell me you're okay, and you don't need anything, I'll let you get back to your talking to yourself.
Appreciated. I'm fine.
Well, if there's anything, don't hesitate to let me know.
I will. Thank you.
Good day. And you eventually fall into a slumber. The next night, you're woken by one of the women, Marjolaine, who asks if you wish to wash, if you need a change of clothes, if you need anything, if you are hungry. They'll get you whatever you need. She'll tell you that the master and the mistress are in the drawing room, awaiting the pleasure of your company.
Desmond will take a bit of time to freshen up before going to join Elise and Fletcher.
When you walk into the little study where you met them last night, they are very close to each other, and Fletcher's fingertips are just very lightly on her throat, and he is whispering something in her ear. And Elise, he's telling you that there's absolutely nothing in this world or the next or any of the other ones that exist around that can keep you apart now. And as long as you keep wanting to return, you'll always be able to find.
I think she's just kind of like quietly leaning into him as he whispers to her. And when Desmond enters, her eyes kind of snap to him. He's here.
Sleep okay?
I did. The accommodations were lovely. I once again appreciate your hospitality.
No problem. Ask you a somewhat personal question.
You may, but I may not answer.
Oh, perfectly fine. Have you ever considered getting any tattoos? I am a tattoo artist by trade, and I have a process by which I can make the tattoos permanent even on a one of our people's skin. So,
well, given that, as far as I had previously been aware, tattoos were not a possibility, it has not been something I've given much thought to, but it may be something I give more thought to now.
he looks to you, Elise. Show him some of yours.
She's keen to do this. Her legs crossed. One of her legs kind of lifts up and out, and she pulls her skirt up the slightest, and you can see patterns going up her calf of different sigils.
All of these were done long after Elise was embraced. The process is not without a certain amount of pain, but it does look pretty good. Just saying, if ever you find yourself thinking about getting your own.
Those are beautiful, and it is certainly something I will take under consideration.
Well, I wish you both the best of luck. Do please, if you wouldn't mind, Desmond, once your business is accomplished, if you wouldn't mind accompanying Elise back here, I'll owe you.
Of course, I imagine that you take hospitality seriously, that you consider that to mean the protection of those under your roof, and you certainly extended that to me this past day.
We did fend off a great number of demons that were clamoring for your blood. I don't know what you've been getting up to, but we had our hands full all night.
I have no doubt, and I in turn would happily extend that same hospitality to Elise.
May I ask you
Very
one
kind
final...
of you.
Sorry, dear. Sorry. Go ahead.
I was just remarking on how kind it was, that was all.
I also realize this is a prying question, but may I ask what blood you are?
I suppose that is a prying question, but I have nothing to hide. Clan Hakata.
Well, that explains a lot. Thank you very much for indulging my rudeness.
No rudeness at all.
Well, I'm sure Faraday can find it in his schedule to drop you off wherever you think might be the best access point for the underworld. Take care of yourself, darling.
Of course. I'll
This is
see
your
you
forehead.
soon enough.
Sorry. Everyone at the same time.
I'll give the lovers a chance first.
Of course, darling. I'll return soon enough.
I know you will, and kisses your forehead.
Desmond extends
a
a hand to first shake Fletcher's hand, but then to Elise and says, "Are you ready for me to be the Virgil to your Dante?"
I look forward to taking a little trip. Should be interesting. And she very delicately places her hand into yours.
And he very carefully and gently brings your hand to his lips to kiss your knuckles.
And a proper gentleman.
As you are about to leave, Fletcher says, "Oh, and Desmond, remember, when you're bringing Elise back to me, don't turn around to look if she's following."
I don't want to get trapped now, would I?
I will not forget, Fletcher.
The two of you are driven to the Lucien Lallier metro station, which is a very interesting metro station in Montreal in that you have to go down underground a full 5 flights of stairs before you reach the lower floor. And these are escalators that are 2-3 times the length of what a normal escalator would be. It's incredibly, incredibly deep below ground. As you are descending into Montreal's underground, the city feels to you almost like as you're descending to the Montreal's underground city, it feels to you almost like a journey into a bit of a forgotten realm, a descent not just beneath the earth, but into an underworld sculpted by human ambition and time itself. You begin by stepping onto an escalator at Lucien Lallier metro station. Its mechanical hum almost like the groan of ancient gates opening. The steel and concrete walls press in the air, thick with a sense of gravity that pulls you deeper, each floor below a further layer of history and memory. The bright fluorescent lights above flicker faintly, casting long unsettling shadows across the sleek monolithic architecture. The escalator moves with a rhythm that's hypnotic, the bright orange and yellow retrofuturistic color scheme from the 1970s shimmering in strange contrast against the brutalist surroundings. It's as if you're gliding through the remnants of a lost future, like echoes of a world that never fully arrived. As the escalator descends into the deeper layers, the space tightens, the air growing cooler, denser. The sleek, angular forms of the corridors and stairwells shift, their sharp corners and jagged edges turning the walls into intimidating frescoes. When the escalator reaches its end, the path opens into a maze of stairwells. The steps are worn, etched by countless feet that have ascended and descended. The color palette shifts here too, deep reds, neon greens, and faded aquas spill across walls, graffiti-like murals that seem half-forgotten, faded but still whispering their stories. These stairwells echo with distant sounds, the low murmur of people moving through the labyrinth below. The deeper you go, the more distorted the world around you becomes. Sharp angles blend with curving lines, and the oppressive concrete atmosphere grows thicker, suffocating. Above, the flickering lights now seem more like weak stars in the sky long abandoned by the sun. Elise, you are a traveler, an interloper, moving deeper into a place both familiar and utterly alien. So far from Fletcher, so far from the world you know. You imagine you feel as Inyanya might, passing through her sister's doorways into the underworld, being stripped and divested of all her vestments of power, naked and vulnerable. Then, "Welcome to the Night Village," a passerby says, as if he senses this is your first trip here. You have arrived at the core of the underground city of Montreal. What do you do?
This wasn't quite what I was expecting.
What were you expecting? Fire and brimstone? Demons and devils?
Do you know, I've always liked the pagan views of hell a bit better. A place of ice and darkness. There's a bit of darkness and ice here, isn't there? All these sharp edges. Best be careful I don't cut myself. You see, like, as she says that, she looks down and her feet are bare. And she just wiggles her toes on the concrete below. I could have done without the escalator, though. Oh, that buzzing in my head, it's horrible.
Yes, it can be a bit unpleasant, but one does become used to it after a time. And Elise, you would notice that Desmond seems a lot more comfortable, much more relaxed. Something has shifted as you made your way down here.
Seems as though you blossomed down here in the darkness, in this hell of yours.
I'm very used to hell. This feels like home.
Where are we supposed to be going? Bookstore?
Yes, you had mentioned the Red Book, and while you could have been speaking of Carl Jung's text, I'm imagining it's much more likely you're speaking of a store that is managed by a friend of mine.
Yes. I'm not quite sure what I'm supposed to find there, but I'm sure I'll find it.
You do seem to have a knack for things falling into place.
It's funny, isn't it? Wow. She kind of sidles up to you. Do you mind? And her hand slips into like the crook of your arm.
Not at all.
Lead the way then.
And the two of you travel through the night market, heading towards Tristan's shop, the Red Book. You hope that he's managed to put it together since it was savaged last night. But we'll see exactly how that works out. Meanwhile, Margot and Fiona, both of you are waking up, getting your information in, trading that information. What would you like to do?
I think Margot calls Fiona. And I think in the background you can hear the security footage just replaying over and over again.
What you got?
Nothing yet. You got anything new? Anything new at all? She sounds anxious.
I would have relayed all of the information that I had received. And that
You want me to repeat it, or?
Would you please, just to make sure that we captured it all?
Yeah. So you found that there was a very specific, handmade, unique infrared camera that had been built. You know that there's only one person in town that does that kind of work. Someone named Gaspard, who is a human, by the way, not kindred. All of the victims had the same mark on their arm. It was an inverted black pyramid with the word serviam, which means I will serve in Latin, written over it. All of these had been placed there recently, and were fresh, basically fresh tattoos on each of their bodies.
Right.
This Gaspar guy, if he made that camera, then he's seen our guy, or at least has maybe a little bit more information.
It's possible.
I want to talk to him, Fiona.
Bleak, based on what I know about Gaspar, or based on my encounters with him, what would I know about how he handles talking to people? Like, I know I don't trust him fully, but he's not.
He's usually okay with talking with people. He's he's a young kid. He's just like, kind of super brilliant with what he does, and he's just careful to keep a low profile, but he holds these impromptu meet and greets at this nargile bar because part of him does like the respect and adulation that he gets for his skill, and because also he needs to do business, so it's not usually a problem to talk to him. I hear the echo too, Raven Sarah, and I think it has to do with the fact that we're putting the music through Discord also. At the same time, I'm muted, but I don't know why it's doing the echo.
I think I would tell Margot, yeah, there's a bar we could meet him at. He's not really one for formal meetings, so.
All right. I'll hopefully hear back from my people today soon. I'll text you for a drink later.
Sounds good.
All right.
Keep your eyes up, okay?
You too.
Bet.
And she just hangs up and she goes back to looking at this footage.
So when you look at the footage, go ahead and give me a wits. I'll tell you what else in a second.
Okay.
Is it better? I think there's no more echoing. I don't know. I think I got it, but go ahead and give me a wits and technology.
Okay. 1 success, but a red onk.
Just a red onk, or not the thing with the 2 little pips?
It does have 2 little pips. I don't have my glasses on. Can see.
You guys are rolling some serious messy criticals tonight.
Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and use my last night move.
Okay.
Hungry kindred.
No problem. You use your last night move. to get just a success, basically, in this particular case. So as you study the video, you realize that first of all, there's no indication of him coming into the frame and leaving. He's just there and then he's not, which normally would suggest that it was edited in after the fact. You do not have the technological expertise, and with one success, to be able to see or tell if that is what happened, but it's pretty clear that it's not normal. Like, he doesn't come into frame and then leave really quickly. It's just, he's there, he's not there.
Based off of my conversation with Fiona, do I think that this kid Gaspar would have any ability to help me out with that?
You would think probably. Like, I'm even willing to say you've probably heard of him doing what you do, but
Okay.
certainly you'd think that it's the kind of thing that he might be able to do. If he built the other camera, he probably knows enough about it.
Okay, great. Do I see anything recognizable on this figure at all? Anything distinguishing?
No, you get the sense it's a man.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, he's just completely dressed in this red, whatever it is he's wearing. I'll put the picture in the chat also for you to get a closer look at it. But there's nothing that really pops out.
Okay.
You get the feeling that it is an extremely controlled thing. You're seeing exactly what he wanted you to see.
Okay. I think she's gonna check her phone then, see if she's gotten a call from...
Yeah, you would have gotten a message back from him saying, sorry about last night, was otherwise occupied. Free to meet this evening if you still need. Why don't you come by my place?
I think she takes a moment to sort of roll her eyes and then just messages back, on my way. And she grabs the disc, she grabs the security footage and sets out.
Very well. I've put the picture of La Fontaine. Enjoy and be creeped out by, because it's a pretty creepy picture.
Mostly enjoy.
Mostly enjoy. Yes, yeah. You are. Fiona, what are you doing, Fiona?
I am checking my phone to see if I got any word back from Costa.
So similar. Costa's like, well, I wasn't expecting for you to reach back so soon, but I'm happy to meet. Do you want me to come by your office again or somewhere else?
Come to the office.
All right. I'll swing by as soon as I get a chance.
Okay, so Fiona's only way of getting into in contact with Gaspar is meeting at this bar, even with Fiona's sway. Like, she doesn't have his number.
Let's see. Let's make a roll and see. Go ahead and give me a charisma plus streetwise.
Spicy meatball. That's 6. Let's see here. Hold on. That's 1 success and 1 hunger die with a skull on it.
Okay. So the hunger die, so just again to kind of re-explain so that everyone in the audience and knows what's going on. The red dice are hunger dice. The black dice are regular dice. The skull on the red dice is a critical failure that only comes into effect if you actually fail the roll. If you fail the roll, that comes into effect. If you don't fail the roll, you ignore that. It's just a 1.
We should make a legend, a key for the demiplane.
Well, I can give you. I have a sheet that's got that on it. The one with the 2 pips is a 10, but also a critical success, which again only matters if the roll's a success. And for it to count as a critical, you need 2. But if you get one of those and your roll's a success, then it's a messy critical. It's complicated for no good reason.
Okay.
A little bit,
I did get a black onk with 2 pips. Is that?
Yeah, so that just means it's a 10.
Okay, so there you go.
Yeah, so that's something to keep track of. If you get the onk with 2 pips, that's the number 10. If you have 2 of those, it's a critical. It counts as 4 successes.
Okay.
I will also send the cheat sheet. I mean, all that's also laying on the cheat sheet that I made, the spreadsheet that I made that none of you are on right now. Just saying. No shade. But none of you are on it right now.
Don't call me out.
It's like when I put everything on the class calendar and the students write to me to ask me what we're doing in class tomorrow. Oh yeah, so anything else let's go back and tell me how many successes you got again. Okay, the 1
10.
success. There's nothing really, unless you're interested in spending a 9 move to roll 2 extra dice to see if you get more success. 1 success is not enough to give you more access to him than to go buy this thing, which you could go tonight if you wanted.
Yeah, then that'll be the plan, and I'll make sure that Margot knows when to meet up too.
What are you going to do in the meantime?
Meeting with Costa. Is he coming over before that?
Yep.
Okay, then that would be what I am doing. I also would probably want to just do a quick check-in to see if I know where the whereabouts of Fred St. Pierre.
Good old Fred St. Pierre. Give me a charisma and investigation.
What that smug fuck is up to.
Fred St. Pierre. Just a guy, doing a job.
Oh, sorry. Why is this not going? My demiplane has frozen. Hold on.
Okay, reload it. Okay, while you're sorting that out, I never have a spare second. Actually, yeah, no, we're gonna wait for you to sort it out because I wanna. There's a specific reason why I want to wait a little bit on the bones thing.
Okay, I got a 2 successes. I got a red onk, I got a black onk, and I got a red 1 pip, which I believe is a messy critical.
2 successes and a red onk with the pips.
I got a 2 successes. I got a red onk, a black onk, and a red with 1 pip. Let's send you a screenshot of it.
Yes, pip is a technical term. It's not pippin.
I don't believe you.
That's true.
It's pip on a die.
It sounds so whimsical.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Whimsy season.
Whimsy season, exactly. That is me.
I sent it to you in the chat thread, solo chat thread.
Right, so that means that it is not a messy critical because the red die did not come up with the pips. It's only a messy critical if the red die comes up with the pips.
Okay. So 2 successes then.
So the onk with the pips just means 10. If it's on a red die, it also means messy critical.
It is on a red die. I sent the screenshot to you.
I'm looking at it right now, and it's the black die that's got the pips, and the red die doesn't.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, it's not the outline. The actual color at the center of the lozenge.
Okay.
So that's 2 successes. So that means that one of your dice came back a 1, and then 2 were successes, and the black die came up 10, which doesn't matter because it's the black die. So that's 2 successes. So reiterate to me what it was that you wanted to do. You want to find out where St. Pierre is?
Yeah, the whereabouts of him, what he's up to, you
put out
the
some
smug
feelers.
look on his fucking face.
You put out some feelers, and they say that he's out in the night village somewhere investigating a series of break-ins and some sort of racketeering scheme of people going into stores and smashing them up.
If he's not careful, I'm gonna smash up his knees the same way.
Right in his face.
Fucking cunt.
All right. As you are bitching about Fred St. Pierre, there's a knock at your office door.
Come in.
Costa steps in, like, that was quick. He pulls up a chair, sits down. What can I do for you?
Well, we seem to have a bit of a snag on our hands.
Oh, do we?
Well, 26 half-alive people hanging from a ceiling wrapped in clear plastic. Kind of fucked.
Where did you find that?
Storage facility.
Dead
Got a tip
people?
off. No, quite alive. Tattooed as well. And I toss him the picture. I presume I have got like photos of the... Yeah, I show him the photo.
Okay. We think one of ours did it? Were they drained?
I don't think they were drained, but they're under some sort of thing. They can't really recover quite well. So I'm guessing that they... well, rumor has it that this guy's been in and out of this facility every night, bringing a different person in for the last 26 days. So...
did we ID any of these people?
Did we ID any of these people?
Well, you got a whole bunch of pictures. I'll say that you recognize a few faces, mainly people that street people or people who live in shelters, things of that nature, people who'd done work for you, like, you know, when you needed to hire like 70 people for a sit-in and you would pay them, you know, they were like some of the people that would show up. So there's a number, there's like maybe 4 or 5 of those. The rest all appear to be, again, street people, people from shelters, things of that nature, people that wouldn't be missed necessarily. All right. I mean, I can reach out to Adelaide, the Malkavian Primogen. She runs a number of hospitals. She might be able to get them in and see if they've been mesmerized or something.
You see, I'm a little wary of involving like Primogen and things like that, because then it gets all the way up to the prince, and quite frankly, I don't need that right now.
Okay, so what would you like me to do?
Well, what the fuck can you do? You've got all these brand ideas. Aren't you the fucking anarch? Isn't that your whole fucking thing, man?
No, I stepped away from that last year. I'm a bit more legit now, I guess you would say.
Legit?
Yeah, anarchy is fine and fun, but when things are as dire as they are now, we need something a little bit more concrete and a little bit more thought out. So that's what I'm trying to do.
Like
right
what?
now.
Fucking capitalism? What are you on about?
I'm just saying that I am trying to get people to work together rather than throw rocks at each other.
Well, then maybe you could work with me and figure out something to do about it.
I can contact Adelaide, the Malkavian Primogen, and see if we can get them in the hospital where we might detect whether or not they've been messed with by one of our people.
Yeah, but don't get the fucking higher-ups involved, all right?
Well,
Primogen only, that's as high as it goes.
I mean, you know.
Listen, we got a fucking vent through in City Hall. You think I want this to go any further than that?
I'll tell you that I'll tell them this, but, you know, like, they're not my puppet. I mean, I'll get you results. I'll get you results. Calm down. I'll get you results.
Did you tell me to fucking calm down in my own office?
Yeah.
Do you know what happened to the last man who told me to calm down in my own office?
I'm taking my chances. Look, I'll get you results. Isn't that all that matters?
Something seems really off about this guy to Fiona. Like, she's like having a moment of regretting calling him.
Okay. You can definitely regret calling him. He's very earnestly looking at you and telling you what he can do for you. Look, I mean, figuring out if they were messed with by one of ours or not would be a pretty big step. And unless you've got Air 2-4 undetected powers of the mind, we're going to need someone who knows that stuff to figure this out. And, well, no one knows the brain like the Malkavians do. Now, they don't, you know, I don't know. They're a bit weird, but they know this stuff. And Adelaide runs a couple of places. We'll be able to know if they were messed with. If they've been messed with by one of ours, then that greatly narrows down the field of potential suspects. Pretty good start.
All right, fine.
Okay. I'll get you results.
Good. Also, Margot had mentioned something about this guy, this tip that we got. He had this same fleur-de-lis thing.
Really?
Yes, indeed.
Could I speak to this Margot?
I think you'd have to ask her first.
Or would you mind asking her and making an introduction? Since you and I are such good buddies.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, bruja to bruja.
Don't try and leverage clan shit.
You know, in this economy, you leverage what you can.
You keep saying this fucking economy. Yeah, well, I'll talk to her. But if she's not keen on it, you're not talking to her either. So
okay. Fair.
I'm giving you the information she's given me.
Fair. I'll look into it.
Fine. Fiona's like, it's too easy.
Hey, I'm just out here trying to connect people and show people that when we work together and, you know, sort things out together, it's better than, you know, throwing rocks at each other from across the street.
Okay, then.
I know it's upsetting when people are not screaming at you and being obstructionist. I know it's outside the scope of your everyday experience, but it does happen.
Uh-huh.
All right, I'm going to show myself out before you kill me.
You'd look nice pinned to my wall, darling.
I never considered myself handsome enough to be art, but thank you very much.
Yeah. I know a few folk who could, never mind.
Make that permanent for me.
Ta-ta, love. Get your shit done for me.
Yes, sir. He slips on out your office.
This fucking guy.
Meanwhile, Margot, the man you are out to see lives in a place called the Argent Hotel. The Argent Hotel has long been a mainstay of high-class travelers in Montreal. After a fire destroyed several of the top floors, the hotel relocated to the underground, building wide instead of tall, and now occupies several blocks beneath the Quartier des Spectacles. Offers short-term stays, but there's a section also that has been converted to luxury penthouses. When you walk into the lobby of the place, You walk into a stark white, made of white marble with gray and silver veins lobby. Everything is super minimalistic, very utilitarian. There's barely any noise except for the distant hum of cocktail conversations somewhere and the faint traces of formless music. There is only one person in the lobby right now. Janice, the solitary person here, stands behind a clear glass lectern. There's a tablet that is embedded in the top of the lectern, but there's no counter or anything else. It's just Janice standing there behind this lectern. Good evening. The Argent embraces you. How may I best serve you?
She very quietly leans in and whispers the name of who she is here to see.
They click on the little thing. Yes, please proceed to the elevator bank. The elevator will take you directly there.
Thanks. I think Margot's a little uncomfortable here. She's a little too poor to be here. It's a little not so blue collar like she's used to, and sort of stuffs her hands in her pockets and trudges over.
As you approach the wall, which seems completely uniform, part of it opens up and you see that it's elevator doors, and a little number appears almost through the marble. You step into the elevator, doors close. That same little music at exactly the same volume continues to play, and you go up 2 floors, or rather, in this case, down 2 floors. The elevator doors open, and down the hall, by his open door, you see the man you have come to see, Pierre Vico, who's just not the picture of Pierre Vico at all. I'm going to have to fix that.
Whoops.
Yeah, I don't know why it's Tristan. These things happen. I'm going to fix it. Give me 1 second. Why are you this person and not the right person?
Who's to say?
Who's to say maybe they've swapped places?
Body snatchers?
Tristan, no.
Tristan, no!
Pierre Vico welcomes you. He's wearing gray slacks with a black, tight-fitting sweater. His hair is jet black, stylishly cut. His skin has dark olive tones. His eyes are these inky pool of deepest void. When he speaks, his voice has the substance of shadows, his tone struck somewhere between light and dark. And he says, Margot, quite a pleasure.
Of course it is, Pierre.
Will you come inside?
Yeah.
Excellent. And he lets you in, and you walk in, and he closes the door behind him as he walks in, and that is a perfect place for us to take a little break. We're back. Just as someone needed to burp. Someone been in pizza.
Pizza.
Sounds good. That's good. Thank you so much for joining us again, my friends. We are playing Vampire the Masquerade in Montreal, and the various characters are on the hunt for several different people. Someone's looking for the Headless Man, someone's looking for L'Enfant Terrible, and it's just a big old mess with bodies wrapped in plastics and all sorts of stuff. It's just, you know, just another day in Bleakville. The way it goes. As you walk through Desmond and Elise, as you walk through the night village, you eventually find your way arriving at a small bookshop tucked away in a corner, almost beneath Harry Potter style, almost beneath a set of stairs that climb up to a second level. There's just this little red door, and on top of it there's just this sign that's an open book that's just kind of floating there, kind of in midair. And the book is red, and it's called the Red Book. And there's a tiny little window with a few select books placed in the windows, and we're not talking, I don't know what people are reading these days, but it's not Stephen King and whatever. It's really rare volumes. You walk in, and you find that the place has been put back together pretty well. Since you are here often, JD, you would realize that some things are not the way they were. There's some shelves that are missing, things that were broken, etc., etc. So it's not exactly the same, but to the untrained eye, it certainly looks perfectly fine, and you would not be really able to detect that anything untowards had happened here. You find a young man, tall, slim, short, dark hair, glasses, is busy putting away a couple of books in what appears to be like a little lockdown place behind the counter. And when he hears the bell rings, he looks up and goes, "Oh, Desmond. So glad to see you. What do you think? Do a good job?"
Looks almost as good as new.
Yeah, there's a few things we couldn't fix, and there's like 12 books that are completely destroyed beyond repair. But my sister came by, and we spent all night at it and most of the day, and we managed to get into a passable thing. I just gotta hope they don't come back. You didn't get a chance to look into this, I guess.
Not yet, but I am working on getting into contact with them. I stumbled upon a new friend, and she expressed interest in seeing your shop.
Oh, please, absolutely. Oh my name's Tristan. I'm the owner here. Pleasure to meet you.
Hello, I'm Elise. And she holds her hand out to him.
He reaches out and he shakes it a little awkwardly.
She doesn't shake, she just kind of does like that limp, like
yeah,
hold
and he
thing.
kind of just grabs it like this and kind of just does. All very awkward. Please, welcome. This is the Red Book. It's my shop. It was my father's shop before me, and we can get you anything you need. If you're looking for anything specific, I have a lot of contacts. I can get a lot of different things, but please feel free to just look around and browse. Is there anything specific you were looking for, or?
She kind of tiptoes around, looking at all the shelves. Well, I am in search of something, but I'm not quite sure if you can help me.
I'd be glad to. Any friend of Desmond is a friend of mine. Give it a shot. Let me know. And he goes over to his computer and he opens it like he's gonna punch in some name of a book.
Well, I seek a headless man. She says this just like a deadpan.
Is that a gothic horror novel? I've never heard of it.
A man without a head. Possibly.
But that's not the title of the book?
No.
It's funny, you're like the second person this week who mentions something like that.
Oh.
He looks to you, Desmond, kind of like this person kosher, or kind of look?
And Desmond just inclines his head in a nod.
There's a writer, well-known writer and philosopher. His name is Martin Guerre, French. He came in this week. He had put in some orders, and instead of having them shipped to him, he said he was coming to Montreal so he would pick them up. And he came in to pick them up, and he was asking me, and it's probably not at all the same thing because it's very kind of tangential, but he was asking me about very specifically some book on Georges Bataille, and he's in town researching a book on Bataille, and Bataille had that secret society that was called the Headless Man, and the little pamphlet that they published among themselves was called the Headless Man. L'Homme Acéphale it was called. So it's kind of an interesting coincidence.
Do you know this man's name?
Martin Guerre. I think it's kind of a pen name, but that's the name he goes by. He's fairly well known, and he punches up a couple keys on his computer, and then he turns the screen to you, and you see an image of Martin, which I should have right here. You see an image of this young man, beard, curly dark hair, fairly well dressed, and it's his author's page, and you can see that he's written several books of philosophy that seem to have been fairly well received, or at least there's like a lot of traffic about his website about it. He's kind of putting the young hot into philosophy, if that's such a thing. I mean, most philosophers are old dead white guys, and he's a young, hot, alive white guy, so I guess he's got that going for him.
I think she gets very close, uncomfortably close, and she's like leaning down to focus on the image, touching her head. She looks like she's in some sort of pain as she does this.
He looks to Desmond and he's like,
Desmond just shrugs.
And while she's focusing on the image of him and trying to ignore the strange buzzing coming off of this computer, she's going to use
in fact, when you approach the
premonition.
computer,
Yeah,
it starts to the image starts to flicker a little bit.
that sounds about right.
I don't know what's going on. As he kind of slaps it on the side. It's like maybe it's the Ethernet cable, and he's like under the desk, kind of.
She's going to use premonition while focusing on this image.
Oh, go right ahead. You have to roll something for that. That
I
probably
have to
calls
roll
for
my
a
rouse check, which I succeeded.
Ooh.
Really good at that lately. Boom.
Oh, I mean, it's a 50-50 chance.
Yeah, well, at the beginning it was really rough, and now it seems to have resolved itself.
Now you're
all
well
right.
aroused.
Let's see. That is 5 successes.
Can you read to me exactly what this power does? So I can.
Yeah. The vampire experiences flashes of insight. These may take the form of raised hackles, sudden inspiration, or even vivid visions. While never too precise, these visions can nudge the vampire out of harm's way or reveal a truth previously overlooked.
You stare at the computer. The image continues to flicker. Tristan's under the counter fiddling with something he called the Ethernet cable, which you figure is probably some sort of magical device. And as he's fiddling with it, the screen kind of flickers, goes black, and then this image comes up. An image of a black fleur-de-lis with the words Exultatio in Inanis under it. And then, as quickly as it comes up, it disappears again, and this image comes up. I do want to say that you did not see this, Desmond. For you, it was always just a flickering image of Martin Guerre. And as you are focusing on that, the last thing that comes from this image is a scent, perfume.
Perfume I recognize.
Indeed, Lila's perfume.
Very interesting. Question, storyteller.
Yes.
I believe Creep knows what that means.
Exultatio in Inanis?
Elise maybe know what that means?
It means exult in the void.
Yeah, Creep knows what it means.
Yeah, Elise would. I'm 100% certain Elise speaks Latin.
I feel like she would, yeah. I think she kind of whispers this to herself. Exaltation in the void.
Punk. Ow. What? Sorry. Oh, no. Did I kill it? And he comes back up and looks like, oh, no. It's all right. Looks good. Oh, you said the void there, and I thought it had gone completely black.
It just flickered for a moment. That's all, Tristan.
The internet's so terrible down here.
Don't either of you hear that horrible buzzing? And she's like backing away from the computer now very slowly.
The image sharpens up and stabilizes. Like, oh, it might be some kind of electrostatic thing. Have you been wearing fuzzy slippers or something? And anyways, it doesn't matter.
She looks down to her toes and wiggles them again.
Like, oh, should really wear shoes down here.
Why is that? You know, I like to feel grounded.
Yeah, but you're gonna catch you're gonna catch something like that's filthy down here. I mean, you know, just bad.
I think I'll be quite all right.
Okay. Anyways, he was looking for some books and some stuff, and I might as well tell you, I connected him with another client of mine who has a manuscript, some unfinished work by Bataille. Martin was really interested into him, so I connected them together.
Who's this?
He's a big named art collector. His name is Pierre Vico.
She never heard that name. Right?
No, but Desmond may have. But I'll let Desmond deal with that. But you would not, I don't think.
Okay.
I would say that Elise would see a flicker of recognition when that name is spoken go across Desmond's face.
I mean, I think actually you might have heard the name Vico as someone who was interested in that painting.
I don't think she ever got his name. I think he was always just the art collector to her. That's why I said that. Yeah.
Right, cool.
I don't know if she ever actually got his name. She catches this from Desmond. Do you know something, little bird?
I believe I know enough. Perhaps we should speak with him.
Oh, you know him?
We've met once.
You get around, Desmond. Jeez. Friends in high and low places.
I don't know many people, but I appreciate each person I have come into contact with.
You know all the right ones. Miss Elise, it was a pleasure meeting you. If there's ever anything you need or any way I can help you, please don't hesitate. He slips you his card. I can get all sorts of stuff. Just, ask me. If I can't, I'll say no.
She's going to take his card, and once she takes it, I'm going to be a true pest here. She's going to use Spirit's Touch when she picks up the card.
Go ahead and do that. I was gonna say you might want to.
Yeah. I've just been waiting for the right moment for that one. Another success. Look at me on my dice pools. I'm crazy. That I was doing my rouse check, by the way. Sorry.
Okay, cool.
And for this one, 3 successes.
You're doing Spirit's Touch on the card?
I am.
As you take the card from him and open up your senses and reach out and get a feel for the energy around, you see, and you understand that you're not actually seeing this. It's not actually happening, but you see Tristan turn his head towards Desmond and look at him with this longing in his eyes, like this deep-seated, he's bearing that torch like nobody's business, but it's kind of mingled with a little bit of fear and concern in some ways. How many successes did you get?
3.
3, and as you're following his gaze, and you look over at Tristan. For a second, you see something behind him, as if there's the shadow of somebody else standing behind Tristan. Sorry, not Tristan, Desmond. And then it all comes back, and he's just like, I can get you anything, just let me know. I know worst case scenario, I'll say I can't get it.
Isn't that kind of you?
No, I'm just, I trying to get the right books into the right people's hands. You're a very strange lady, Elise, if you don't mind me saying, but you're endlessly fascinating. So please don't hesitate to come and visit again or get in touch.
Perhaps next time I come, I get to look around your store. I'm sure you have all sorts of treasures in here.
My book is your book.
She's gonna turn to Desmond. Can we go meet your friend?
I'm not certain he will be accepting visitors, but we can always try.
I can be quite convincing when I need to be.
I have no doubt.
She sidles up to him again and tucks her hand into the crook of his arm. Oh, then, lead the way.
And once again, into the night market, into the underground, to the underworld, Desmond and Elise, arm in arm, go gamboling. Meanwhile, at the Argent Hotel, you walk into his apartment. Yeah, Rico's penthouse at the Argent is a strikingly modern yet eerie retreat. The space is cavernous, with high ceilings and sharp, clean lines that emphasize its unsettling clinical atmosphere. The floors are matte, dark concrete that stretches endlessly, and the walls are painted in shades of shadowy charcoal, making the space feel as though it's enveloped by an endless night. The decor is minimalistic to the point of discomfort. Almost nothing distracts from the overwhelming sense of cold, impersonal design. Every surface is sleek, polished, and sharp. There are no decorations save for a few well-chosen paintings from his extensive collection, as well as a collection of porcelain masks in a glass display. There's also one painting that is on an easel but covered by a tarp. The rest is mostly functional furniture that's elegant yet stark. A black leather chair, an angular glass coffee table, and a few low-profile couches in tones of dark gray and black. The lighting is intentionally dim, recessed into the walls, casting long shadow across the room, though their light is mercifully a soft, warm amber. In place of windows, large digital screens span the walls, showing high-definition live video feeds of the cityscape above. The videos loop continuously, offering fleeting glimpses of the outside world: rain, snow, traffic, neon lights, but always from a distance, like the penthouse is watching the city rather than living in it. One of the more striking features is that the place seems adapted for someone in a wheelchair, being thoroughly designed with wide, accessible hallways and low-slung furniture, ensuring that every part of the room is reachable and maneuverable. Everything is at eye level, and the kitchen area is sleek with touch controls for ease. There's no warmth or softness to the space, just the occasional low hum of the technology in the room, the only sound breaking the otherwise stretching silence. The overall ambiance is one of alienation. It's as though this place was never meant for someone to truly inhabit, but rather to observe from a distance, like a visitor in an art installation or a specimen in a laboratory. There's a sense of emptiness, of void, that's somewhat alienating. You watch your reflection in the dark glass of the walls, and you get a sense of falling or disappearing into a vast nothingness. What's more, the darkness inside the glass appears to be moving, as if alive. How have things been, Margot?
She hesitates to answer, and I would imagine she steps in first and keeps her back to him. Interesting.
What is? Oh, things. They've been
Things. Yeah. I've got a little bit of a problem.
I'm all ears. Would you like to sit down?
Sure.
As you do, you hear discreet coughing coming from another room down the corridor somewhere.
She turns her head to look, but doesn't really linger on it.
He doesn't stop looking at you.
She goes to sit with him. I'm assuming there's a settee.
Yeah.
She's got her phone in her hands and she's sort of fidgeting, and uncharacteristically, she word vomits everything that's transpired over the last 24 hours.
He takes it all in without much of a change in expression. And when you finish, he says, "And you're concerned for the well-being of the people, you're concerned with apprehending the suspect, or you are concerned with possible breaches of the masquerade?"
All of the above, and this weird obsession this dude has with me. And she pulls her phone out and shows him the picture of the wall that she looked at the night before.
I mean, I assume that in your line of work you piss off a lot of people, but is there anyone in particular that might want to get back at you? And I mean, obviously someone with some means.
The people I handle here don't have the means to get back at me.
And have we ascertained whether this is one of ours, or...
It's looking that way.
I find it difficult to think that one of ours would capture so many of them and not slake their thirst any.
There's 26. There could have been more. I don't know. It's pointing to one of ours. Everything that I can tell.
And you can't think of anyone that might want to get back at you specifically. I'm just asking because I don't know if this might be tied to something you're investigating or something else you're doing. It seems kind of random that someone would just out of the blue come at you like this.
Sure. I mean, there's been someone I've been sort of hounding after.
What kind of person who would have this kind of capabilities? This kind of dedication also, because this takes a special certain kind of feel in the soul to do something like this, to be this cold and methodical.
As a man, a terrible child, he seeks girls out and wines and dines them. Everything's perfect, wealthy, good looking, really sort of lays it on thick and takes his time with them. And then when they are in dire need, they are their most vulnerable, he beats the shit out of them. Brutally. I've seen some fucked up shit, but this is a little bit different. This is something very, very purposeful and methodical and dedicated.
The method and the dedication seem to overlap, but the brutality of one seems quite different from the clinical approach of the other. I assume these people were not beaten or violated in any way?
Not that I could tell. I have somebody helping me, and
Unless this person you're searching for is also dispassionate in their beatings. I don't know. It's quite the puzzle. What clues do you have to go on?
she talks about the symbol. It's tied to some other shit. And she digs into her pocket and pulls out that disc of the security footage. Do you have a DVD player?
I believe so. And he goes over and he gets a laptop and he brings it back. It's like, I believe this will do it, but you know as well as I do that these things don't work very well around us.
Yeah, well, let's see what we can find. I was able to check it out last night.
I will say if you wanted, you might have printed out a copy of the image.
Oh, yeah, sure, that works too. She'll
Okay.
show him the picture then.
I've never seen that. Looks male.
Mm-hmm. And he just appears and then he disappears off the footage. There's no entrance, no exits, like it's been cut. But he wanted me to see him.
You're gonna need someone with some technical skills. I can't even operate a doorbell.
I've got somebody in mind on that.
Are you worried about yourself or are you worried about the others?
I think the way she looks down at her hands, I think she answers that. She's a little bit scared, but doesn't want to say it out loud.
First, you need to ascertain whether or not this is a kindred. And it's different dealing with a kindred than with a human. If it's a human leaking some information to the police might do the job, simply tracking him down and getting rid of him might do the job. He's one of ours. Not only do you have to find him, but you have to cover everything.
Therein lies my trouble.
Yeah,
I've got a friend.
Good.
And so I've called you for another ally.
Well, I'm not sure it can be of much help right now. However, I can keep all of these things in mind, and if anything comes across my path, I will happily signal it to you. If there's something specific you would like me to look into, I can, but I think that your first step is to figure out whether or not this is kindred. And to get someone with some technical knowledge to look at that disc.
Do you mind keeping an ear to the ground?
No, absolutely.
And if shit gets weird,
You can always call me.
great. Well,
It appears I have other guests downstairs. Is there anything
Who?
else I can do for you right now?
she sort of knits a brow at him and shakes her head and stuffs the disc in the... Well, she'll leave him the picture,
Okay.
but she'll stuff the disc back into her pocket.
Margot, you also need to ascertain whether this person knows that you're kindred or not.
If they are kindred, I would imagine that information is pretty easily found.
If that's
Is
the
there
case,
no-
you can always leave it in the doorstep of the sheriff. The law, as they're called here.
No, it's fucking weird. Listen, I don't want to go that high up. I would rather leave that card in my pocket for now if I have to.
Oh, there's a lot you can do at lower level still.
All right.
Keep me appraised.
Say again.
Keep me appraised. Keep me up to date.
I will. Yes, I will.
I'd invite you to stay, but I'm assuming my other guests are going to want to have a little bit of privacy.
Yeah. Well, have fun with that, I guess. You know where I'm at.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure as always to see you, Margot. Get up and walk you to the door.
I think she looks back at where she heard the coughing from.
It's a long corridor and there are 2 doors. There's light coming out from under one of them.
I think she pries, but she definitely takes a moment to study that door and then look back up at him. I'll call you later.
Have a good evening.
I shall leave.
What will you do?
She is going to call or send a text to Fiona. It says drinks ? Drag ?
Okay. As you exit the building, you find yourself downstairs, crossing the lobby, and seeing 2 other kindred there.
I think she stops and sort of stares for a moment. Could be just taken as rudeness.
I would think that you and Desmond would at least know the other exists.
Yeah, I think she would give him a quick nod. For Elise, I think you see somebody who's very out of place in this hotel, somebody whose clothes are too big and very much sort of a street kid type of vibe. But her hands are in her pocket, her shoulders are forward, and she's sort of keeping her head down a bit. But she doesn't speak, she doesn't say hello to you, Desmond, she just gives a quick nod. And then sort of continues on.
Do either of the 2 of you do anything else with this other kindred that has just come out of the elevator that you've been directed to step into?
I think when Elise sees Margot nod to Desmond, she kind of turns to him. Do you know her?
I know of her. We've never really talked. And I think for Margot, if she hears that, that's a little surprising because any interactions you've ever had with Desmond, you've only ever seen them sign.
I think she hesitates in her steps and glances back at you one time, sort of knitted together with her brows again, and I think you get a sort of a wolfish grin from her and then keeps walking.
Meanwhile, Fiona, your friend Costa has left the office. What have you been doing with yourself, and what would you like to do next?
I'm checking in on the Maison Charton issue.
There was yesterday a demonstration. The cops let it go for a few hours. There was no violence or nothing untowards, but nothing much came of it this morning. It was barely mentioned in the papers.
I think Fiona has a moment of feeling conflicted of while she's glad that there's able to be a peaceful protest, it feels a little bit like getting into bed with the cops in order to get by. And I think she kind of sits at her desk and is maybe seething a little bit about it and doesn't exactly know why. Checking on the girl, or if I'm assuming I have someone out to check on the girl.
Yeah, you've contacted a Nosferatu PI called Solange to go out and third check on that. She reports that it's pretty clear that they've taken her outside of town, probably on the South Shore or something like that, to bring her back into the fold. She's on it. We'll update you if she actually finds her, but she says that they're probably off island right now.
Great. And then the last check-in would be if there would be any, before checking in about Gaspar, that being the final item for the evening, but checking in if there's any news from Galen or rumblings from City Hall.
There's news coming out of there that's something we had talked about how there was recently a new appointed police chief, and there's a lot going on in City Hall right now with in terms of, so this is someone who used to be in internal affairs, and there's a lot of rumblings right now about things happening or moving in that direction. You get the sense that there's a lot of things kind of being put on hold. There's this sense of things waiting for something to happen. There's something kind of brewing in there. You would need to either squeeze some of your contacts or find somebody else that would have contacts in there, but you could totally do a contact check if you wanted to try and see what the rumblings are about. But there's a sense that something's about to happen, something's about to come out that's going to be a major thing.
I want to find out what that is before it comes out.
Oakley dokley. What do you have as far as contacts? Start with that.
Let's see here. Contacts. I have... I don't know that I have...
And that's okay if there's no specific contact.
No, I have Chris Talkner.
My own private joke. What is he exactly again? What did we determine?
He's a city councilor opposition.
Oh, that would be a great contact.
That's my boy right there. So that's who I'm contacting.
All right. Go ahead, and you're gonna give me an intelligence streetwise.
Intelligence and streetwise. Oh, that is 6 successes.
Holy moly.
And I am double checking. I believe it might be a messy critical, but I have 2. I just want to clarify this looking at the guide now. I have 1 regular black onk. I have 1 black onk with 2 pips.
Mm-hmm.
And I have 1 red onk with 2 pips.
Yeah, that is indeed a messy critical.
What is happening to me tonight?
By the way, I did refund night moves to players because I had been making a mistake with what caused a messy critical. In this particular case, it is. Some of the others weren't, so I refunded 2 night moves, I think, to Fiona and Margot, or I think you're the only 2 that had spent them. So they should have 2 more night moves. But this one is very, very definitely a messy critical.
Okay. Since it is very definitely a messy critical, I will use one this time, knowing that we have it all sorted. So,
you managed to get a hold of him pretty directly. You have a direct phone number to his assistant, and she picks up the phone and says, "Councilman Talkner's office."
It's the wolf.
Oh, one moment, I'll see if he's available. Then you hear like people talking, and there's obviously something coming on. Then, you hear him grab the phone, like, "Oh, hold on, I'm gonna get somewhere quiet." And then you hear him kind of walking, and the door shuts, and the voices kind of go down a little bit, and you hear some wind. So he stepped out onto like a patio or something outside. He says, "Fucking Christ, it's cold. Oh fuck, why didn't I bring my jacket? My balls just fucking shot all the way back up inside my throat. What can I do for you?"
It's good to hear your voice, too.
Yeah, it's fucking cold. What's up?
What are the rumblings?
What rumblings?
Don't fuck with me, Chris. What are the rumblings?
There's something. Look, I'm willing to let you in on the skinny, but you know, this could mean something pretty bad if it gets out that I'm talking to you and letting you know these things. So, you know, more hush hush than usual, more on the QD than usual. Is that all right? Can we have that deal?
Understood? Yes, of course.
There's oh God. Jesus Christ. Of course you had to call tonight, didn't you?
Call it a spidey sense.
Yeah, how do you do that, by the way?
Don't fucking worry about it.
The whole thing with the Maison Chartrand thing, it goes up pretty high, and when I say pretty high, I mean it starts at the mayor and goes up.
Fuck.
And there's some pretty big people involved. There's a construction consortium that's involved in this somehow. Don't ask me how, I don't know. But there's a lot of really heavy duty people that are shitting their beds right now.
You said construction consortium. Tell me more.
Yeah, I'll try to find the name here. I can. Yeah, you know about the that weird ass thing they're building up, the Royal Mount thing on the corner of the 40 and the 15 there, that shopping mall residential area.
Yeah, it's a fucking eyesore.
Yeah, and it's gonna be a huge nightmare for a bunch of different reasons, but the Consortium of Quebec Industrialists that's behind building it is apparently tied to some of their members are tied to some darker aspect of the Maison Chartrand stuff that hasn't come out yet.
Ah, fuck.
Yeah. So that's all a brewing. People are basically trying to figure out, you know, who's going to be tainted, who ain't. I'm in a war room meeting right now.
Jesus, man.
Yeah, it's big, but I mean, this Fleur de Lis consortium is like huge. It's got
Fleur de Lis consortium.
Yeah, that's what they're called. They're like some of the biggest industrialists in Quebec, and of course it's Quebec, so they've all got like hunting and golf buddies with, you know, sitting ministers, and
Yeah,
word is it might go as high as the prime minister.
Oh, great. Fuck. Goddamn man can't shine his fucking shoes.
There's apparently some weird stuff going on in Quebec City right now. A lot of big power players have gone off the map, have disappeared. There's people are running crazy. We don't know what's going on. There's a lot happening right now.
Right. Well, I won't ready any troops until anything actually breaks, so I appreciate you giving me the intel.
Yeah, if you keep my name out of anything you talk about with this and it doesn't get back to me, I'll feed you more when I get it.
I don't even know who the fuck you are, so...
Oh, that's good. I'm about to turn into a popsicle. Can I go back inside?
Yeah, I got one more question for you.
Jesus Christ, it's like minus 277
Yeah, I know. I'll make it up
Kelvin.
to you. You come over for a fucking charcuterie platter or something, but I got a question. Look, this construction consortium...
Yeah.
Do they have any, like, warehouses or storage units or something? Anything that might be off island?
I'm sure they own stuff everywhere.
Could you do me a favor?
Get you a list of those things?
Yes, indeedy. You know
I don't think I can, but I probably know someone who can.
Well,
Give me 48 hours.
how about I give you 36?
Oh God, are you gonna nickel and dime me?
Come on, I'll buy you a nice bottle of wine. You know it.
Single malt. Minimum 18 years.
Done.
Jesus.
Glen
Right.
Morangi it is.
Can I go back inside now? Because they're about to start singing Frosty the Snowman about me.
Yeah. Go warm your scrot. Thanks so much, Chris.
Yeah, no problem. He hangs up.
Fuck. I text Margot back and I say, I'm on my way.
You go and meet Margot. I am specifically saving JD and the creep for getting there. I'll get back to you in a moment. You go and find Margot. You hook up at not the Copacabana, because that's where you went last time, and
Thank God.
so you're at the Beefsteak
I
on
love
Saint
that.
Laurent, which is
The
kind of
beefsteak!
yeah, you're on the
Really?
Beefsteak on Saint Laurent, which is kind of a dive bar-ish kind of place.
I feel like Margot's already sitting there at the bar.
Fiona walks in like black Levi's and boots and like a black jacket, just old school New York days, and sits next door.
We going out for another night crawl expedition?
I don't think so. It's likely that he's gonna come meet us here.
Got it. I checked in on my contacts. We got an extra set of eyes, at least.
We're gonna need him.
Yeah. Yeah. Feel a little bit helpless.
And Fiona signals to the bartender to get 2 extra drinks apiece. And Fiona leans on the bar, like on her arm, turning just entirely towards Fiona. Or not, sorry, I'm Fiona, you're Margot. Jesus.
Thanks for reminding me.
Freaky Friday! I knew I was going to do that at some point. But Fiona leans and looks at Margot kind of directly and says, I'm about to make you feel a lot more helpless.
All right.
So, do you know anything about this Maison Chartrand issue? There's a whole bunch of shit that the fucking city's trying to cover up.
Yeah, bureaucracy is not really my thing.
I know, but it's about to be.
Oh, fuck.
So listen up. And Fiona like looks around and makes sure that no one is fucking looking. Like hand in the jacket pocket, knuckles threaded through brass knuckles. She's, well, I just got in touch with a contact with the city, and it looks like the whole thing goes all the way to the fucking top. Something about this fleur-de-lis construction consortium.
What do you mean all the way to the fucking top? To the mayor?
Beyond the mayor. I'm talking minister. I'm talking prime minister. I'm talking the whole fucking country. I think that they're connected with this fucking fleur-de-lis thing. I think that maybe the fleur-de-lis thing is running part of the government.
Fuck.
Yeah, precisely. That's it.
So if this fucker is either in bed with or is something to do with our government now, you know, I spent all these years in my life, all this time, trying to become a ghost.
No, Bubs. I'm sorry. But I'm dragging you into the resistance, so.
Yeah, well, this is sort of not really my bag, Fiona.
I know.
I don't do the political thing, man. I'm just out here to try to help women.
But
man.
this, and Fiona like looks over her shoulder and looks back. This fucking serial killer is connected to the fucking government.
This is big.
I know. I feel like I got a fucking billboard with a bunch of fucking red strings connected, but it's all fucking connected. I don't know how. I'll figure it out for you, but.
I want to talk to your people, your closest people.
All right. I hope you like single malt scotch.
And we need a powwow. Something, closed doors, no phones, nothing.
I can get you a secure room, but we got to keep it tight. I mean, really fucking tight. We cannot afford to lose this guy from the government because he's my tap.
Yeah, no, I gotcha. Who the hell do I talk to anyway? I talk to you. I talk to the shelter girls. That's it.
That's right, but I mean, even your guy, the one who's got ears on the ground about stuff, I wouldn't say anything to him.
No, I can't trust him like that. You know, he's good to have in the back pocket. He's sort of muscle, or I can't muscle. Not yet, at least. But it's not like that. This is... Can I be honest with you?
Always, pet.
I think if we don't get this guy, I think I'm gonna die.
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
I think you're right.
I think she holds that stare with you for a long time. Yeah. I can't do that. There's too much work to be done. So get an audience, meet this tech wizard. I think I'm going to try and get him to fix that disc, see if I can get an in or out with this guy. I at least want to see what he moves like. I don't have anything.
Yeah. Research will be good.
You get a text message, Fiona.
Look at my phone.
It's from Gaspar. Does it hear you're looking for me? Where you at?
Speak of the fucking devil. I ping him that we're at the corner end of the bar. It's quiet.
A few minutes later, you see this young man come in. He's wearing designer tracksuit with a little jacket over it, glasses. He's got a computer in his hand. He comes by. Friend of yours?
Yeah. And she's on the inside.
Oh. That's great. I don't like this at all.
You think I do?
Well, wait till I tell you what I gotta cook in here. I don't enjoy being a messenger boy. So he sits down. The guy, you're looking for the guy who had me made the camera?
Right.
He said you'd come.
Fuck.
Not you. And he points to Margot, you.
Yeah, I bet he did. Go ahead, roll your eyes in the back of your head. Tell me what you gotta tell me.
Oh, I gotta tell you nothing. I'm gonna show you something. He wanted me to give you this, and he hands you an iPad.
She kind of aggressively taps at it.
He said it was, quote, a look into a parallel universe. And when you turn it on, you see Cecilia in her home. Now, after a few moments, for the initial shock, you realize it's not her. It's someone who looks extremely like her, dresses exactly the same. The apartment is almost identical, but there are a few details that are off. The windows are covered up. She's going about making dinner or something. This is an ongoing feed that's watching someone who looks exactly like Cecilia in a room that looks exactly like her apartment.
I toss the iPad onto the bar top, and Fiona, I think you recognize when Margot's about to snap right now, and she gets up and she is about to grab for this guy, but just stops herself short.
Hey, I have nothing to do with this.
Fiona
like
reaches out,
this.
puts a hand on Margot's shoulder just to brace her.
Let me explain something to you. Shit for brains.
Hey, trying to help you here.
I eat geeks like you for fucking breakfast. I have no fucking problem breaking every single bone in your body. I want to know who had you make that camera.
I don't fucking know. I never met him.
Of course you fucking don't.
I never met him.
Something, anything, an email address, something.
Do you think I
don't
meet?
raise your voice in the bar.
You think I meet fuckos like that face to face? Isn't that crazy?
Where'd you drop it off?
I fucking didn't.
Then who the fuck picked it up?
What are you talking about?
The fucking cameraman.
The camera? I don't fucking know. I don't make them. Some guy somewhere made it and they fucking delivered it to some place, a locker in the train station, I think, or something like that.
She's biting her tongue so hard right now, and she looks at Fiona. We were fucking right about that one.
Fuck.
And she's gonna look back at this kid. All right. How did you get the iPad?
This iPad, it was delivered to me.
Was there...
Not in my place. No one knows where I live. A place I go to often. I walked in. The guy behind the counter said, "Hey, someone dropped this off for you yesterday."
Where? What place? Where did you go?
It gives you the address. The place I hang out at. It's called Nilufar.
Do I recognize what this place is?
Yeah, it's like a nargile bar cafe.
Okay. I think just on the bar.
I ain't going back there, let me tell you that much.
Writes down the address. Who's the guy? Just a normal clerk? Just a dude?
Yeah, just whoever was on behind the desk that night.
What did he look like? Something.
Yeah, it was he looked Egyptian to me. I don't know, he was kind of small and really, really fit, and I don't know, he's always there. I think he might be the owner or something.
All right, well, that's something. I feel like I'm being put on a wild goose chase right now, and I'm chasing my own fucking tail.
Look, this shit smells bad. And he looks to you, Fiona, and he says, "Look, I don't know if you know about this new outfit that's in town, Section 3. These guys are pushing hard. They're setting up observation posts everywhere. I hear they got permission to tap into the city's CCTV. They're not government, but they have government access. The mayor and the new police chief all signed up on it. You gotta watch yourself."
The new police chief signed off on it, you say?
Yeah.
Huh. Fucking overlooked that one, didn't you, Chris?
They got nothing about them. No one knows who they are, where they come from. People are calling Section 3 to have patches that show a shield. That's all we know.
Bureaucracy.
That's my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
I'm out of this. Like, you know, my name's Paul and this shit's between y'all.
Listen,
Don't
kid,
fucking call me.
get the fuck gone as best you can. I wouldn't walk around being so fucking flashy.
Don't worry. Some things are real and some things are for show. After tonight,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like the devil. I'm gonna make the world believe that I never existed.
Yeah, you better.
Good luck with where the fuck that is. And he
If
gets
you
up.
hear anything, you contact us.
Not likely.
Fuck them. This shit's bad.
Yeah,
This
it's
is...
just-
She points to the iPad. This is too close.
Yeah, he knows too much about you, love.
And while you ponder the imponderables of all you have learned, back at the Argent Hotel, in the room I described earlier. Vico opened the door, saw you, smiled when he saw Desmond. Nice to see you again. And he looks at Elise. You brought me a tribute. I'm joking. Please, come in. You walk into the apartment. It is as I described it earlier. You see the paintings, the several paintings on the wall, the one that's on the easel that's covered by a tarp. Interesting evening so far. It seems a lot of close friends of mine are dropping by to say hello.
You are quite a popular man, clearly.
Clearly. How may I help you then? And who's your friend?
You see Elise kind of wander in, and her attention goes to the paintings at first.
Well, it just so happens that I have a few of them on hand. A lot of the paintings, first of all, is very impressive. Some of the paintings that are on his wall, you're not 100% sure if they're the real thing or not, but if they are, it's a little bit out of control. The first one that you see is The Garden of Earthly Delights by Hieronymus Bosch. It's a Maconic triptych painting that is filled with bizarre, otherworldly figures, distorted scenes of indulgence and chaos. There's bright, unsettling colors that juxtapose unnatural creatures and twisted human forms, creating this atmosphere of tension and discomfort. There's a lush landscape, but it's bizarre, almost claustrophobic, with the figures seemingly caught in frantic, almost disturbing frenzy of movements. There's a dreamlike quality that hangs heavily on it. There's like this haunting reminder of darker, more chaotic aspects of human existence. Another one that catches your eye as you move through the room is Witch's Sabbath by Goya. The painting that's filled with dark, haunting imagery, the natural addition to the penthouse stark environment, portrays a group of figures gathered around an ominous, mysterious scene. The atmosphere is heavy with foreboding. There are deep shadows, muted tones that give the painting an almost suffocating presence. The figures seem caught in an eerie ritual, their distorted forms looming over a central figure who stands in stark contrast to the surrounding darkness. The heavy use of shadow and light emphasizes the sinister nature of the scene, leaving you with a sense that is very unsettling, something deeply wrong.
I'm assuming they're like along the wall.
Yep.
Yeah, she's kind of just tiptoeing down along this wall, not looking at the two in the room as she does so, admiring the artwork. And she's speaking, but when she speaks, she doesn't look behind her. She's just looking at these paintings. Are they real? Are they just reproductions?
No, they're the real thing. I don't own them outright, but someone I'm very close to does, and, well, they allow me to choose a few paintings here and there from time to time to adorn my walls.
As she's walking, she's getting closer to the easel with the covered painting, and when she finally gets to it, she's going to reach her hand to touch the cloth.
Have we met before?
She turns to him. My name's Elise. I hear you're an art collector.
Amongst other things, I also collect friends, and he gives Desmond a little smile.
And what about this piece? This one? And she turns back to it. You covered so carefully.
Ah, yes, I just acquired it last night, in fact. Desmond, you didn't tell me that you had such interesting friends.
I seem to be collecting them myself.
Admirer of art, are you, Elise?
I am. What's under there? I would love to have a peek.
Would you now? What do you think, Desmond? Should we take a look at what's under here?
I think if that is what the lady wants, and that is something you are amenable to, what's the harm in seeing a beautiful piece of art?
The problem with art is that, of course, the meaning of a specific piece is always shrouded in not only mystery, but there's also something that depends heavily on context and the connotations that a viewer brings to it. You look into a painting and you never know exactly what you're going to see, what new layers you're going to uncover, what secrets you're going to find inside. Hey, Charmed Fantasy, thank you so much for the raid. We greatly appreciate you. We are playing some Vampire the Masquerade. It tends to get dark in here, so just be aware that we do have a mature content warning on our show, so please decide for yourself if you want to hang out with us. We hope you do. And thank you very much for the raid. We greatly appreciate it. The real power of art is what it reveals about ourselves and not so much what it reveals about itself. Wouldn't you agree, Elise?
Perhaps.
How do you two know each other?
This little birdie just showed up on my doorstep.
Indeed. I found myself there and we spoke. Seemed that it was a bit of synchronicity.
And
I have a way of things just showing up. It's a funny little thing about me.
what keeps you together?
Curiosity.
About each other?
Thirst.
About the world?
No. I'm looking for something, and Desi's helping me find it.
Is it this painting you're looking for, then, you think?
Perhaps. You know, I heard not too long ago that there is someone getting rid of a painting, trying to sell it, a very, very popular art collector. Perhaps that was you.
Perhaps it was. In fact, it was very difficult to obtain. I honestly thought that getting my hands on some obscure painting by somewhat obscure British painter would be easily accomplished, but suddenly everyone wanted it. Suddenly Henry Holliday's work was very popular. I had to take extreme measures to acquire it.
Interesting. Do you still have it?
Of course, it's right here. Under this little tarp. Shall we then? But the question is, before we do, are you prepared for what it may reveal? Are both of you prepared for what any of these things may reveal?
Elise suddenly seems a bit more timid than before. Stepping away from the painting.
Henry Holliday was a British painter who famously created a painting of Dante and his lover Beatrice narrowly missing each other, and thus being unable to rekindle their love. This painting is easy to see. However, Henry Holiday created a second painting that is less known. It was his first attempt at it, and in that painting, he created a scene where Beatrice and Dante meet and rekindle their love. Henry was quite the romantic, you see. He wasn't very enamored of this painting, and so he hid it away and did the other one that he felt was more true to the history, and that's the one that is famous. However, this other one is resurfaced. But as I was saying, what's interesting about art is not what it reveals about itself, but rather what it reveals about us. Go ahead, Elise, if you will. Remove the tarp.
I think she very reluctantly plucks the edge and peels the tarp away.
As you do, you reveal a painting that perhaps you recognize as being that painting of Dante and Beatrice by Henry Holiday. However, it appears to be a little different, but what is really striking is that a portion of it has been peeled away at the center. And what you see in that portion that has been peeled is another painting beneath that first one. You see Desmond, a glorious, incredibly naturalistic and precise rendition of Elise in full-on witch mode, as painted by someone who was not only talented, but incredibly enamored of the subject.
Desmond stares at the painting for a few moments and then turns to Elise, and their expression is very carefully schooled, not showing any surprise, not showing any shock. He wants to see what her reaction to this is.
She's staring directly into Vico's eyes. Tell me, what does this painting reveal to you?
I think that's immaterial. I wanted to make sure that you came to see me. Acquiring the painting was simply nudging the universe into action.
Seems as though I would have made my way here anyways. You have something I want. Knowledge. But why is it that you want me here?
There's someone here who would like to see you.
Is that so?
You hear a door open from down the hall. You hear the sound of a wheelchair approaching. A woman is pushing an old man along as he comes into the light. He says in a old, broken down voice, "Hello, my love. It's been a lifetime." And when you turn, you see sitting in a chair, old, decrepit, ravaged by time, Austin Osmond Spare.
I think she collapses. What have you done?
I've come to see you. Been so long.
Who did this to you?
And he smiles. And on that, my friends, we end tonight's session.